Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user ThrowArray538. I, 28 female, commented on a post of my boyfriend, 29 male, on a "Are we dating the same guy" page, and he found out. What are my next steps? I, 28 female, recently found a post of my boyfriend, 29 male, on a local "Are we dating the same guy" page. We have been together for 5 years. There were several comments on there of girls stating they texted him or went out with him, and I couldn't tell if this has happened recently or if it could have been from a long time ago. So I commented on it anonymously, asking if anyone has talked or hooked up with him recently. And a girl responded saying she did, and asked if I did as well and if I had any tea on him. I probably should have said I was his girlfriend, but I was so embarrassed I couldn't and worried I wouldn't get any information, so I just said he told me not to talk or sleep with anyone else and he wouldn't either, but that we never hooked up. She responded back claiming he said the exact same thing to her. I then asked when they last hooked up and she never responded back. My boyfriend then comes home and is furious, slamming doors, giving me dirty looks, but won't say anything to me. I know he knows I was the one who anonymously posted because I had suspicions that he had been cheating on me and have recently been asking him, and he denied doing so. I then go back to the post and all of her responses are deleted, so I know she told him, and I'm sure he told her to delete them, but he's pissed at me for it. Anyway, what are my next steps? Do I confront him about it or just wait and see if he says anything? Also, we rent an apartment together and are on the same lease, so that makes things even more complicated. Willoughby, in my opinion, the first thing that you should do is break up with him and then find a way to get out of the lease. See if there's any way that you can break the contract. If not, then how much more time are you on it? I would take a look at the financial thing first. The relationship, that's dead. Absolutely dead. You break up with him, you tell him that you found out, and there's actually no conversation you need to have. You don't need to know why. He cheated, that's it. It's simply unjustifiable. So there's no point entertaining those conversations. So your next steps are to get your ducks in a row. If you've got joint finances, separate them. Regarding the lease, a separate conversation would be to tell your landlord you're not renewing it. Maybe in the meantime you can stay with family, or maybe he'll move out, and also use this time to look for a new place if you can. But relationship-wise, after 5 years, I am sure you're heartbroken. But there's nothing that he can say that could make you feel better, so don't waste your time there and just focus on yourself. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. International Arm 790 says, "You break up with him, duh. How much time is left on the lease?" And Opie responds, "Oh, I am. I'm just wondering if I should even say anything about it or just let it be. A little over 5 months. Mighty SD69 says, "Talk to whoever owns the lease and tell them you need to move out. And make sure you can move out because he has been cheating on you the whole time. Get an STD and HIV test done as soon as possible. Do take steps to get away from him as soon as possible. Have an exit plan. Don't try and forgive him. No need to confront him. You know what he did. Can you go stay with your parents? If yes, take your important things too. And tell all your friends he cheated so they know." Prancing Poodoo says, "Wait, he's pissed at you because he cheated and got caught? The mental gymnastics." I roll facepalm. "He's already deleting evidence and likely preparing for you to confront him. In my opinion, the biggest mind F would be to stay silent, be completely normal, and just make preparations to disappear on him. Regarding the lease, I would contact your landlord privately about seeing if they will work with you on a solution." Golden Fingernails says, 1. You talk to your landlord about breaking the lease. 2. You start looking for another place to live or crash with a friend or family member. 3. Once you find a place, pack your crap up and take it there. 4. He has no business being angry at you. He's the one who's the a-hole, so don't let him guilt you into thinking this is your fault. 4. Again, make sure you have separate bank accounts moving forward. 5. There's not getting past this. He's a cheater. You should not care at this point if he says anything or not. It's over. Mourn the loss of what you thought you had and move on. And 6. In case you still want to confront him, I ask you, what good will that do? He'll yell at you and claim you're overreacting and this is your fault, blah blah blah. It's pointless. The Unpolitical says he's cheating and acting like the victim because the other girl called him out. He still doesn't know for sure that it's you. If he's cheating on you, there could be other girls that called him out on this. So find a safe place and move out quietly. And XXLogitech98XX says, if your boyfriend is dating multiple people, then just leave the relationship. It's not really complicated if you basically don't want to be with the person because they lied to you or is cheating on you. It sucks that a 5-year relationship is going to waste, but do you really want to deal with the drama of it all? There are some things you shouldn't let go. Additional information from OP's comments. While I was writing my post, I was still in shock. But looking back now, everything lines up a little too perfectly. He was completely normal until that girl replied saying she'd hooked up with him. Then suddenly he shut down. It was like flipping a switch. Talkative and affectionate one day, cold and angry the next. And right after that, her comments disappeared. Every other comment stayed up, just not hers. It's hard not to see what's right in front of me. I've been suspicious for a while, him being weird with his phone, staying at the gym for hours, the way he started guarding everything like he had something to hide, and now this. The worst part is how he's handling it. He's not devastated that I might be hurt, he's mad that he got caught. He's more upset that she found out about me than the other way around. It's like his ego is bruised, not his conscience. I also realize how much I've been letting him control the narrative. He knows exactly how to twist things to make me question myself. Normally, I'd be the one apologizing first or trying to fix it just to keep the peace, but I'm done doing that. I've started therapy and I'm actively trying to stop letting people walk all over me just because I'm scared of making them mad. I'm getting tested on Monday and I've already reached out to our leasing office to see about breaking the lease early. I know this is over. I just wish I didn't still want an explanation. Closure, I guess. But I'm not naive enough to expect honesty from someone who's been lying to my face. At this point, I see it for what it is. He's mad about being exposed and not about what he did. And that tells me everything I need to know. It's humiliating, but it's also freeing. This is me finally walking away for real this time and starting to find myself again after losing so much of who I was trying to keep him happy. Well, the community was clear OP needed to leave him, and that's exactly what OP is doing. So let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. First off, I want to thank everyone for all of your helpful advice on my original post. He did admit that the girl sent him a screenshot of the post, and he was just upset because he didn't like a bunch of random people knowing his business. But I also found out that he brought that same girl to our apartment when I was out of town a week prior and they had sex in our bed. Never apologized for it, but simply stated that if I came home when I said I went to my mom's because we were in a fight and hadn't spoken in days, and I decided to stay 2 days longer. Then it wouldn't have happened. We are absolutely over, and although he had begged me to forgive him a couple of days, he finally got mad enough at me because I wouldn't have sex with him that he left me alone. It's too expensive for me to break the lease, but we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so I am able to have my own space, or so I thought. I woke up early yesterday at 3 in the morning wondering where my dog was, as he sleeps with me. I get up and can't find him. But my ex's door is shut, so I open it because I can hear my dog sniffing under the door to get out. There he is, sitting on my bed with my phone in his hand and going through it after we had established that we were no longer together. I took it and looked at the screen time information, and he spent over 30 minutes in my saved passwords. So now I am actually concerned and very weirded out and may just ask my mom for a loan to break the lease because he literally creeped in my room when I was sleeping and took my phone to go through it. Anyway, thank you to everyone for the comments and concerns and advice. Although I feel like I wasted many years with him, it was a growing experience and I will absolutely do better in the future. OP's edit. I did also get STD tested as well, just waiting to hear the results back from it. Well, hopefully the results come back positive. Now, regarding their compromised passwords, that's a huge thing. So one thing is I'd start changing all of my passwords, of course, but also, and I don't know if it would help, maybe, you file a report. So if anything does happen with one of your passwords, there's at least some paper trail. And on top of that, of course, try to move out quickly. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Sas Akum. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother-in-law that helping around the house might lead to more intimacy? Last weekend, my husband, male 42, and I, female 42, went golfing. I asked my husband how it was going and he said, good, but Colin, brother-in-law 41, won't shut up about how him and Marie have no intimacy. It's annoying. I was with my sister, female 40, and all of our kids at the time, so I asked her what was up. She just rolled her eyes and told me that Colin won't help around the house, so by the time she gets home from dinner on the table, gets the kids ready for bed and school tomorrow, she's exhausted and just wants to read a little before bed. She said he'll come home from work and will work out or watch sports or find any excuse to be busy so he doesn't help. Flashed forward to dinner later that night. Everyone is done eating, so my husband gets up and starts clearing the table. When Marie and I get to help, he waves us off and says that he and Colin would do it since they golfed all day and he knew how tired we were after being with the kids. This was after he had ordered the dinner, picked it up, and brought wine and ice cream from my favorite place to go with it. Colin, predictably, said he had something to do and went to walk outside. I said, Colin, maybe if you helped clear the table, then Marie might be in the mood later. Colin lost his crap. He started ranting about how he's busy and how he doesn't have time to help and that he doesn't want a transactional relationship where he has to pay for sex with favors. It got pretty heated because I didn't back down. At one point, he pointed at my husband and said, "What, you'll give him a head tonight because he did the dishes?" I explained that it wasn't about doing the dishes. It was that my husband helped out when he knew I was tired and had taken care of dinner and wine and dessert. Colin ended up storming out and driving away. He didn't come back to the house until after we left. Marie says he hasn't said a word to her since Saturday night. I feel kind of bad because it wasn't necessarily my place to say anything, and now Marie's marriage is paying the price. But on the other hand, maybe me saying something will be the wake-up he needs to realize he's not acting right. Well, OP, I kind of think everybody sucks a little bit here. I mean, particularly your brother-in-law. He's the first one that started ranting. Apart from being a bad partner, he's making it public by complaining about it. So if he's got some issues regarding this, he should shut up about it in public and sit down with his wife and talk about it. And about your comment, I'm sure it came from a good place. You know, you're trying to help, you want to be a good sister and sister-in-law. But still, it's not your place. It is their relationship and their issues, and they should solve it. They shouldn't drag you guys into the drama, though. But you also shouldn't volunteer to be part of it. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's check out the community comments. Affectionate March 394 says, her marriage was already paying the price. Brother-in-law knows exactly why their marriage is falling apart. He just doesn't care because he thinks it's helping and not equal responsibility. Honestly, I'm petty, but I'm glad he got called out and felt humiliated because he should. Wheel Artist says, not the a-hole. Even though it probably wasn't your place to say it, this is all on brother-in-law. Brother-in-law is a child. It's not favors because it isn't her job to do 100% of the domestic labor. It's maintaining one's own life. Does he think the dishes will do themselves if he ended up divorced and living alone? Studies show that men who pull their own weight at home tend to have great sex lives, partially because their partners are not too tired to be horny and because nobody finds a gigantic baby attractive. It's not about transactions, it's about being attractive and ensuring that your partner has the energy to get freaky. Glittering Paper 4516 says, everybody sucks here. You're right, without Marie's blessing, you've overstepped. You also could have said, Colin, did you hear your husband's reasoning? You've had your time. Marie and I are going to have a drink together while you and husband tidy up. And Opie responds, yeah, that probably would have been a better thing to say. He probably would have still refused to help, but then he wouldn't be able to blame anybody but himself for getting upset. And LlamaFull98 says, lol, so kinda you're the a-hole. I think your husband's more subtle approach, while it didn't yield the intended results, was a better way to handle the situation. You outed your husband and sister, so that probably wasn't the best look for anybody. But obviously, I understand wanting to help. It seems like your sister has a husband problem. I doubt he'll change. He doesn't seem like someone willing to do the work on himself, much less go to therapy. Your sister needs to decide if this is how she wants to continue to live. Keep in mind, someone as hot-headed as your brother-in-law seems like the type to want to stray if he doesn't get his way. Well, the majority of the community was with OP and not the a-hole. There were some everybody sucks and you're the a-holes, but mostly not the a-hole. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. A couple points before the update. My brother-in-law is married to my sister. It's not my husband's brother. The four of us have no problem discussing this kind of thing. To those that said my husband is awesome, you're right. He's kind and caring and the best partner I could have hoped for. We're a team, so much so that when our first was born, the nurses made a comment about how we seemed like old pros. Plus, he understands how important ice cream is. To those who DM'd me to tell me that my husband isn't a real man because he does dishes, trust me, he's very much a real man. The update. More than a few people said I overstepped and commented on something I shouldn't have. Fair enough. I FaceTimed Marie and apologized for doing so. I explained my intentions to try to help point out to Colin that he had an opportunity in front of him to assist, but I also recognized how unfair it was to her to do it the way I did. I also told her I was very sorry to suggesting that she would have any sort of intimacy because I essentially took away her agency. I didn't intend to tell Colin that doing dishes would definitely lead to sex, but I recognize it did come across that way. She told me not to worry about either thing, but she accepted my apology. She also mentioned that Colin finally spoke to her and admitted he was very stressed out at work and just wanted to come home and not do anything for a while at night so he could unwind. They are working in ways for him to be a better teammate around the house without feeling more stress. I also apologized to Colin directly for overstepping a boundary. He said he was sorry for losing his temper and that he knows he lashed out of embarrassment for being called out in front of Marie and my husband. While we were talking, my husband poked his head in the room and offered to host a cousin sleepover for the kids soon, so Colin and Marie could have a night to just chill and be together. Both Colin and Marie tried to say it was unnecessary, but he insisted and they relented. He said he'll take all the kids out for breakfast as well because he'll take any chance to get a breakfast at a diner. Like I said, the man is an absolute gift. Well, OP, this sounds like a positive update. Your brother-in-law took accountability and with his wife, they're looking for ways to improve things together. And you've also apologized and apologies have all been accepted and everybody's good with everybody. So awesome, OP. Here's wishing you guys the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user PyreForge. Boss said I must use my vacation before month end. Also, no one can take time off. So, I read the policy. Company sends a shiny HR email. Subject line all caps. Use it or lose it. We had to burn our remaining paid time off by the 30th or it evaporates into the sun. Same day, my manager announces in stand-up that due to quarter end, no one can take time off until the 1st. I asked how to reconcile that. He shrugs and says, talk to HR. HR says to talk to your manager. Cute loop. So I opened the handbook because I'm a petty librarian when annoyed. Page 14 has this little sentence I never noticed. Paid time off requests not explicitly denied in writing within 48 business hours are considered approved. There is also a note that partial day paid time off is allowed in 1-hour blocks. Thank you, legal team. I submitted 10 separate requests. 2 hours every morning next week, 2 hours every afternoon the week after, a random Friday 3 to 5 to watch a plumber, and 1 full day to visit my mom. I sent the requests in our HR portal, which auto-emails the manager and CCs a shared mailbox nobody watches. Then I went back to my tasks and set reminders. 48 business hours pass, no denial. The portal changes each request to approve, green checkmark, confetti gif. Monday comes and at 9:58 I put a cheerful note in the team chat. Heading out, see you at noon. Manager pings me to hop on a client call. I reply with a screenshot of the policy and the portal approval. Silence. Then 3 dots typing, then nothing. By Wednesday, our calendar looked like cheese. Half the team remembered they also had paid time off sitting around and started filling it in little blocks. Meetings kept colliding with green bars. Finance realized that if we did not use the days now, they would be paid out at separation later, which they ate. HR wrote a new post saying we should coordinate, but that approvals already granted stand. My manager called a huddle to ask why productivity dipped. I said we are following HR's instructions to use paid time off. He said he meant in November. I sent him the original email timestamped this month. He sighed and said he never thought anyone would actually read the handbook. I used every hour, took my mom to lunch, and my plumber fixed the cursed sink at 3:40 while I drank tea. Next week, a new policy appeared. Paid time off must be requested in full day increments during quarter end, and managers must respond in 24 hours. Thanks for clarifying, truly. Nicely done, OP, using their own handbook against them. Loved it. Thanks so much for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.